Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlings, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Joe Coleman, 2019 state basketball champions. How's that feel?
It feels good. Yeah, it always does.
I mean, has it sunk in yet? I mean, that last 2 weeks of the season was.
It was a grind for sure. Yeah, it was a tough one, but yeah, it's starting to sink in. Our kids are starting to, realize what they accomplished, and it's been fun around school. So I'm happy for them.
Well, I mean, and I'm going to say this. There's a little bit of pressure because you were in 6A or the year before 5A this year, and then you dropped to Class 4A, and so there's a little bit. It was like Hope and yourself was a little bit of pressure that you had to go. That you had to win that to be.
Yeah. I get it. People were thinking we were coming from playing, bigger schools, and it should have been something that was an easy
cakewalk.
Easy transition for us, and it just wasn't that way. Kids at any level, they might not have as many kids in their student body that their school's not a 6A or 5A or whatever it might be, but the kids still play hard, and you only need 5 out on the court, so it doesn't matter what level you're at. If you can find those kids, and you can have a good basketball team, and we ran into some really good ones this year, especially in our district. Thought our district was as tough as we've had, and we've had some good ones.
Well, tough district, and it just seemed like natural rivalries. I mean, Hope and yourself, Hope moving up a class, and then having Highlands come in, and then Del Norte had an unbelievable year, and then Bernalillo, as you know, I think what you ran into every game was a rivalry.
It was a battle every night. Highlands was as good as they've been, and they got everybody coming back next year. They're going to be phenomenal. So, Hope is obviously traditionally one of the powerhouses. Doesn't matter what classification or district or where they're playing. They're very good, and they've proven that by winning 6 straight titles in a row. But Del Norte, Jerron did an amazing job at Del Norte. They did a great job with their kids. They played hard. They were scrappy. They were tough to guard. So, yeah, we ran in a tough district, and we lost twice to Bernalillo. We didn't even beat those guys. So that's how difficult it was. But, I think it made us better towards the end, and it paid off, on that little run we had at the state tournament.
Well, you talk about and a lot of it has to do with the coaches. I mean, the coaches, those are some pretty class coaches and upcoming coaches. Woody's doing an unbelievable job at Highland for what he's doing, and then, I think Murphy and yourself speaks for itself over your tenure. But and then you got Bernalillo.
You got Terry there, and Jerron and Woody are doing a great job. I don't think any of us are in Coach Murphy's class, but we're I'm getting old like him, so I guess that's okay. I had his successes.
You
but
still can talk though.
yeah,
You haven't lost your
we're getting
voice.
there.
So,
We're good. I'm still there, but yeah, it's been a phenomenal district. It was a great year. First time down, moving down, and I don't want to say moving down, playing where we were supposed to have played all these years. We've played up for 7, 8 years, and so it was interesting. But the kids played just as hard. Los Lunas had a phenomenal team. I really feel it was kind of bittersweet beating Travis and what he's done down there at Los Lunas. I felt for him because we coached together at Academy. We were friends.
well, there's a lot of Brown.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
think about history there with the Browns and then McIntosh and with the Brown. I mean, it seemed like the Brown legacy, and he was in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Mike. If you start taking his lineage and going down through the tree there of who's coaching around the city, he's got a hand in it somewhere. And like I said, me and Travis, I was the head JV. He was my assistant for 2 years. Dominic Romero, who's at Manzano, was my assistant for 2 years when I was the head JV coach. So, Travis is a great guy. He did a phenomenal job at Los Lunas every year, and it was a tough loss for him. But our guys worked hard, and I'll take it.
Well, we'll get to that here. We'll get some highlights on that a little bit here in a little bit. But going into the season, I mean, what were your thoughts going into the season? I every time I talked to you, it was more of you got good players, good. The other is just that you haven't got that chemistry yet.
We had a senior group last year where we played with Anthony Chavez, Isaiah Torres, Zeke Roybal, those guys, Shagun. Those guys have played varsity for 3 years. And so we didn't have anybody coming into this year that had any varsity experience, really. I mean, none. I think Jevin played a couple games for us, and Shea got in a little bit last year. But so my concern was, we had some talent. We just didn't have any experience that would give them the toughness I thought you would need to make a run like we did. We struggled early, and we got, we were up and down all year, which showed 13-13 record.
Yeah, you were 13. I did my math on that. You were 13-13 going into the state tournament.
Up and down all year long, and we got beat by 46 one night to Volcano Vista. They beat us by 46 points, and I was like, wow. And then we played at Trisco, and we lose on a last-second shot. So it was kind of a microcosm of who we were. We just not consistent enough, and it bothered me. And I know I was on the kids quite a bit, but they responded when they needed to and were better at the end. But yeah, very, very much a roller coaster kind of ride this year.
Yeah, but you had injuries too. I mean, which every team. But losing Shea for 9 games. I mean, and trying to build the chemistry without him, that was
right. And it might have helped us. I mean, him sitting out for 9 games.
It's a good point.
Yeah, we might have helped.
You brought the kid from the JV up that got some playing time.
We got some kids that had to go up and play all of a sudden or do some different things. Had to handle the ball. Gio Casals had to handle the basketball and be a little bit of a point guard. He played big for us at the end of the state tournament. Or if he had not had that experience, I don't know what we would have got. But we had a couple freshmen on the team, one especially Mateo Hernandez, that he was phenomenal all year. His poise and the way he takes care of himself and handles himself. And so maybe it was a good thing that Shea sat out for a little bit, but we sure missed him for those 9 games because he's pretty.
Yeah, it's a good thing now. When you're looking back, but during that time, it was like you were having to do a little bit of
we were scrambling,
little juggling there, juggling act there. So.
We were scrambling to try to put something together, but we eventually did. I got great coaches, so they figured it out, and kids stepped up, and in the end, it worked out.
And talking about Easy Panos, he's been with you now, and it just seems like you give him his control. He does his thing. It seems like everybody on your coaching staff does their thing, and you just kind of you fit your personality in there at the end.
Yeah, I've never been an X and O guy, so I've been very fortunate to have coaches that do that, and Easy is tremendous at it. I don't even know if I know all our inbounds plays or any of our play calls, to be honest with you. I'm telling the truth. Easy does that. Mario helps him with that, who played for me. Offensively, they get our kids moving and passing the ball and looking for each other. Defensively, they get after it and they want to defend. Easy played for Coach Martin in West Mesa, so they got up and down the court and had to play a little bit. And so that experience has been invaluable for us. I kind of am allowed to sit and watch practice and see what's happening and talk to kids individually and try to get them to play their best and get more out of them than they think they have. And I feel like that's maybe one of my strengths more than the X and O part. And together it works for us. And, we've been pretty successful at Valley for a long time because of those guys.
We're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week and come back and talk about the Valley State Championship.
The 0-2 pitch to the third baseman. They're going to have a pickle situation here. She falls down. Unfortunate for the Cougars.
2 from Barron. He's going back in there. Pulls his hands in, but Braunschweiger makes the play, and he's going to double him off at second. Who's the 0-1? Pulled his hands in, well hit to Uphold. Uphold still going, and he's not going to get to it. It'll be a ground rule double. A couple of runners will score, and we're all tied up. Merrily along, here's the 0-1, Ledesma. Right back where it came from, it's through. It's a real slow ball to Silcox. The windmill's coming, we're going to have a throw at the plate, and he is saved! Love a double play ball. It's wrapped inside the bag at third base. No chance for Ledesma. And it's going to chase Torres all the way to the wall. Here comes a runner around third. He'll score the go-ahead run. 2 RBIs off the bat of the number 9 hitter, Josh Clark.
The pitcher at the plate, Emily Dix, delivers. And Muniz delivers a home run. That's exactly how she wanted to start off this inning. Brings them back within 2. Took it right down that left field line and sent it through to the portables. And that one sent long towards the wall and out of here. 2 home runs now for the Hawks. Gallardo goes for yard and gives her team a 2-run advantage here at the top of the third. Emily Dix throws it, and so far and so over the fence there. She's going to give the Cougars a much better position now. 5-4 after So goes for the yards. Payoff pitch, sent long and out of here. 2 home runs in the inning for the Volcano Vista Hawks. Dix gets her 3rd of the season and brings home 2 more. Adding that lead up to 4. It's 5-1 in favor of the Hawks now. Pardon? Mendoza. And Mendoza sends a long one and starts the game off huge for Volcano Vista. Bella Mendoza, one of the captains for this team, a senior. The outfielder sends it back to outfield and puts points on the board with the very first pitch of the game.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We have Joe Coleman, the 2019 state championship 4A basketball, men's basketball. Hey, we got some highlights here. Kind of go back a little bit and enjoy. You get to be Adam Dill, and I get to be the color guy, and we get to take over here, man. So
sounds good.
Here we go. We're in the pit here, and we're playing Hope, your team that has played 4 times this year.
Yeah, it was the 5th time right there, and I think we hit 9 threes that game, and that's something we're not accustomed to. I mean, we were pretty good out there, Derek, but I think we hit a few more threes than we normally do, and that helped us.
And I think this shade just kind of took over this, he grew up this tournament.
He sure did. He's the player that I think we all know he can be, and that's what he did this last little run. And looking forward to having him back next year. If he continues to work, he's going to be a really good player.
Before you got to this game, though, you had to play Manzano. And I'm shooting on
Highland.
the Highland. I
Highland,
keep giving
yeah.
Highland. You had to play Highland, and you played them at your place, and it was.
We had,
Give me, because I didn't get
Yeah.
to see the game. So
Yeah.
This was.
well, we had played them 3 times, and they were all close games, except for one. We got them pretty good at their place, but super talented team. And we saw the matchup against them, and we weren't very happy because we knew they would give us and present us some challenges.
Well, you didn't want to play anybody in your.
We didn't want to play
district,
anybody in our
in
district, but
the first
especially
game.
somebody like them. So, we got them, and we had a back and forth game. I don't think we ever got ahead by more than 6 points in that first round state game. But right at the end there, they made a little run, tied it up. We turn the ball over or take a bad shot. Something happens. They have the ball with about 19 seconds, and so we decided we're going to go out and trap and run around and try to create something and not just let them come down and take the last shot. And we're trapping, and we have some great traps, and they get out of it, and we finally get a guy trapped with about 3 or 4 seconds left in the corner, right at half court. Thought we had it. I was like, great, we'll go to overtime. And the kid steps through the trap, really good basketball player, steps through the trap, and they have about a 6'7" freshman who's going to be really good over the next 3 years. People are going to know him. And they throw him the ball, and he's all alone. I mean, we lost him. We were too busy trapping and got caught out of position. And he caught the ball a foot from the basket with 3 seconds to go and put it off the glass. And, we got a break. It rolled around, popped out, go to overtime, and we win by 8. And I felt horrible for that kid because they, it wasn't anything other than we had.
Made it to
We
the
we'd
stadium.
have never been to the pit, and we were fortunate, and we went on a nice little run. And I know that kid was sick to his stomach, but they're a talented team, and so we were very fortunate that night to get out of there with the win.
Well, it just seemed like that was kind of the tone of missed baskets by the opposing team in the crucial times of the game, and it just seemed like it snowballed. We'll get to that as we do the clips, but then you had to go play Hope, and we saw there that you were on fire. Everybody was on all cylinders. You're hitting your shots and playing good defense, and kind of kept Hope off balance.
Yeah, the weird thing is our kids, I saw the matchups, Highland and Hope maybe, and our kids were excited about it. They go, Coach, we want to play them. And I go, well, they just beat us by about 30 points at
Right,
their
no, it
place.
was like, yeah, right.
And I go, in the district championship game, and I go, they whooped us the night before, or the week before that at their place. And I go, they beat us in the Metro tournament pretty good. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to play those guys, but our team had this, this kind of look on their face and this attitude about them that whole week or practice time, going, Coach, this is who we wanted to play. And I'm like, okay. And, we showed up, and I thought, credit to our kids. That night we shot it well, but I thought we defended pretty well, and we rebounded the heck out of it.
That's why I said you kept them off balance.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like nothing was easy for them. They seemed like they went on a little bit of a run, but they still, it was hard for them.
Yeah, no, our guys defended extremely well that whole week, and it started with that Hope game because they're talented. Nittifin, Dockery, Evans, those guys can play, all of them. And so, I thought we defended great. Our post guys did a great job of rebounding. We took care of the balls. We did things that we hadn't done really as a unit all year long, and the team defense was good.
So you beat Hope, and then you got so that's Wednesday. So this is Thursday. So you're playing Silver.
Yeah.
And Silver are a good team.
Yeah. Oh, they're what, 24.
And here we've got highlights right here.
I think they were 24-3. Talented kid out on their point guard, and a tough, scrappy team that plays so hard. And we knew it was going to be a battle, but our kids got out to a really good start, and that was the key for us because
Well, you're hitting your shots, and then the highlight.
Right.
But I'm just saying, but those are key shots.
They are. As you can see, we had a couple right there. Caleb Barrett hit a couple, and that was right before the half, I think. So, yeah, we got off to a pretty good start, and it helped us kind of carry us on because I think they made a pretty good run there at the end. and almost, that's Mateo, the freshman, and he had a shot at the end of a couple quarters. So, we needed every point because they made a run at the end, had a shot at the buzzer and to tie it, and we were fortunate to get out of there with a win.
Again, your defense set your offense. I mean, it seemed like your defense was making the plays, getting the turnovers, and then your offense was just you hit big shots at the right times.
We shot it well. Usually in the pit, it's sometimes difficult. You have played there before to knock down shots there, but our guys were good and they did score. But you're right, team defense that entire week was exactly what we needed. They helped each other. They were in the right spots. We made every shot difficult for the other team, and that was our goal going in. And I think we frustrated some teams and were able to get some rebounds and keep them off the glass. So all the things the coach talks about went our way, and we got some breaks along the way, and we ended up getting past them also.
Well, your mindset on Thursday, you went emotional. I mean, again, because it's something, maybe, hey, well, you're number 7 seed, or was you were number 7 seed coming in, and now you're in the finals against, the number 1 seed, Los Lunas, and we'll get the highlights in the next segment. But, your mindset for Thursday, Friday, and then on Saturday, then we'll go to a break and we'll come back and see the highlights of it.
Yeah. Thursday was exciting. You get to the championship game, that's what you're
good
playing
crowds.
for. Oh,
but it's a great tournament. I mean, and I'll speak from I've been doing state tournaments now for 12 years, and it usually the game from a spectator thing, it's the first day. Okay, it's like the first, the quarterfinals. It seems to me is the deal. Well, in all divisions, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, they were like 2-3 point games, girls and boys all week, and it would just seem like you just were expecting great games every game. And that's hard to do in a state tournament. You look at the 4 or 5 points was the margin of victory of most of the games.
Great games. There was great energy in the pit. There was great energy there all weekend long. It was you could feel it, and it was awesome. We were able to play right after the West Mesa girls 2 nights in a row. And so, them girls could play and they could shoot it and they were fun to watch, and they would bring in a big crowd, West Mesa was. I think Santa Fe played after us 1 or 2 nights, and so you had the Santa Fe crowd, which was awesome to see. It's New Mexico high school basketball. It's the funnest time of year here in New Mexico is what I believe, the state tournament. And it's special. It's special, I think, around the country. People that come here would sense that and get it. And that week was very typical of what it's like. And so to be a part of that and to be able to enjoy that every night for the entire week and not be at home sulking because we lost the game and able to continue to play and be there for that was it's a special memory that I'll hold on to forever. I've always cherished every moment over there, and I try to preach that to our kids, and I think they'll do the same thing, that in 10, 15, 20 years they're still going to remember what that energy was like that week.
Do you think your experience of winning the state championship, 3 years before that with your son, and that thing going to prepare them for this helped at all, or is it just a different time?
No, I mean, teams are different. Each team's different. I mean, those things are.
Well, the other team, their expectations were that they're supposed to win it. Okay,
right.
And in this one here is.
Yeah, 2014, that team was pretty good. They were ranked number 1 all year, and it was going to be them and a Trisco probably at the end, and it was. And we were fortunate enough to win that. But I think my experience as a coach, being able to go down there and understand that there's going to be ebbs and flows, and doing this for as long as I've been doing it, you start to relax a little bit when you walk down that ramp and not let that energy get you too amped up. And so as a coach, I think that's helped me to be a better coach, which has in turn helped our team to be a little bit better and ready and more prepared. I think Adrian Ortega said it, that the first time he played us, he had those bugs going in his stomach and it was tough. But the last couple times he's been there, he's won it and he's done a good job. And I think he's even said that having that experience as a coach helps your teams, regardless if your team is a veteran team or a lower seeded team. That experience helps, and having assistant coaches who have been through it makes a difference. And I think that might have been, something that helped give us a little bit of an edge this week or that week.
Well, Joe, we're going to come back here and you'll see the finals,
Okay.
the final game, and you can kind of talk about that moment.
That'd be great.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Joe Coleman, head basketball coach at Valley High School, also the 2019 4A state champions. And again, let's just jump right into that, the highlights of that moment, that magical moment, that magical day.
It was a grind all night. 37-34 is not the greatest offensive show, but it wasn't bad
But it was
basketball.
an intense game. It wasn't
Yeah.
like,
Every possession was
it
valuable. Every possession meant something. There's a big shot by Gio. It wasn't turnovers and it wasn't poor shooting. It was just a grind because both teams defend so well.
And Shea just kind of took over with that jump style. I mean, he's got one of the best fundamental jump shots, maybe not as on his release, but
Right.
his feet work is as good as anybody's in the States.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He made some big plays for us. Jevin played extremely well all week, too. There's a senior for us, Tim. We don't have many seniors, but he got a nice put back there. And that was a great play at the end of the game right there to get us the lead.
Coming into this game, Los Lunas was like number 1, and that's the one that was basically you had all week.
Yeah, and then right here, I didn't think they were going to get a look, and they sure enough, they got a great look. And unfortunate for Zanon because he's a tremendous basketball player, and he was pretty respectful after the game, and I think he's going to do wonderful things.
Well, I don't know if you've seen this part of it, but kind of your thoughts after that big win.
It's emotional. You're looking at your kids, and you see the excitement in your coaches and in their faces, and it's just kind of a weight off your shoulders. And I try not to get too excited, too crazy. I'm pretty, I look like I'm grumpy and old and upset, but I'm just sitting there trying to take it in and watch those kids' faces, and it was special, and they mean a lot to me for sure.
And you got a great ovation from when they announced your name from your fans. That's got to make you feel important. I mean that's part of being what you do.
Yeah, I grew up in the North Valley. I've been there my whole life, so it's special to have those people, be there supporting us. To hear the cheers is great. I think it's more for our team and the group of us than it is for me. But
look at that crowd too in the background.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was great, and our kids, truly enjoyed it, and it was a special moment.
That's something you'll cherish forever.
You do, and the first one was special. Had my son there with me to be a part of it. This year, my other son's a senior. He doesn't play basketball, but he was there. First kid I hugged when we won was Trey. I ran up into the stands, and he was enjoying it as much as anyone.
This is really special. It was something that you probably, I know talking to him a year that, you were building. You just couldn't really put a grasp on what was going to happen the rest of the year, but it just seemed like it all came together. And we always talk, everyone I talk to everybody goes about who's going to win the state year. I go, the team that goes on the run the last 4 weeks, because at that time, they're all deserved to be there.
They do. And, 12 seeds have won, 11 seeds have won. We're a 7 seed. you know, it's a little bit of a underdog kind of story, but we were very fortunate. You saw some of those plays. There was a play late in every game that went our way, and so this year it was our year. And I try to tell our kids, next year you got to work just as hard or harder.
Well, I tell you, it was special for ProView. It's always fun to see success for Joe Coleman, but it's also neat the way you beat a team that you beat Hope, which is that was going to win their 7th in a row and break the state. So that you had to have some pride in that.
Well, that was funny that was that way, because the class 25-year reunion class was the academy group that had won 6, and I coached on that group. So all week they were guys that I'd coached at academy that were texting going, Coach, we got to stop that streak. We can't let them beat our 6th state titles. So it was special. I was able to see those academy kids, and it was fun.
Well, Joe, now back to back. Is that what you work for next year?
Well, you work to get better, and like I said, we got to have some breaks go our way. We're not going to talk about back to back, but we're gonna sure work hard and try to put ourselves in a position.
Well, Joe, thanks for coming on, Steve.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
The blue trophy is going to the Valley Vikings. 37-34 final.